Hey there! Today's quick and easy video is going to be for canning meat. Now, meat is one of the easiest things, probably the easiest thing on the planet to can. You basically put your meat in the jar after you've got it all cut up, and you clean your jar rim and put the lid and ring on and put it in the pressure canner and let it go until it's done. So I'm gonna fill all my jars with the meat. I went yesterday to Sam's Club and I bought me a whole chuck roll, and it cost me $6.37 a pound, and I got a little over 16 pounds. So it was just over $100, not 200, just over $100. So I went ahead and I took all my chuck eye steaks out of it. I took the Denver steaks out of it, cut them out, put them in the freezer. I took a small chuck roast out of it and decided I was going to make the rest into food storage or food security. And so that's how we got here. And I checked my prices on the internet after I bought this. At $6.37 a pound, the cheapest chuck roast I saw was about $9.37 a pound. So that's an average of at least $3 a pound if you are willing to cut it up yourself, which is a good experience. I like cutting it up myself, but because I was looking at some of those prices and it's like, oh my goodness. And this is one way you can still save good money and get good food security. Because I know the USDA says that stuff like this can only last up to 18 months on the shelf, but that's because they have to say it like that. I know people have taken some stuff off their shelves, hamburger, for instance, that has been on their shelf for 11 years and there was nothing wrong with it. So it's good food security and a good way to invest in your future. So, go to the next jar here. And I got a feeling I'm going to have a little bit left because I only have the 10 jars here, and I should get about a pound per jar. And whatever is going to be left over, we're going to go ahead and grind it up into hamburger. And that's going to make some real good hamburger meat. Okay. Looks like I might end up with quite a bit left. I'll have to check my jars when I get done and make sure I've got enough in them. Just don't want to overfill them. But most things you have to put water in there with it. And meat, you don't need to do that because it makes its own juice. So you end up with the easiest job. Like I said, you just put the meat in the jar, clean the rims, put the lids and rings on, and cook the amount of time that they need to be cooked. Pints have to go for an hour and 15 minutes or 75 minutes. And that's what I'm doing today, is pints. Okay, let's see. All right, well, we paused a little bit so I could make sure I had my jars good and full. I'm going to go ahead and get my paper towel wet with the vinegar so I can clean all my rims real good, because we want to make sure we get good sealing going on. With all this meat, you want it to seal up. So, get all my rims clean. Because any fat left on the edge of the rim could make sure that the jar doesn't seal. Let me get on the inside of this now. And keep working on this. All right. Yeah, my son said something to me a few years back, said we didn't have food security, and that kind of got me going. It's a good thing, though. It made me learn how to can. I didn't want to try water bathing because that didn't sound safe to me. And I was a little scared of pressure canning at first, but I made sure I educated myself really good before I started and tried to do everything properly. Of course, I had some fails like anybody will, but that's how you learn, right? Okay. Now I'll get all my lids put on here. If I can get them apart. There we go. And I must have lost a lid somewhere, or I've got two stuck together somewhere. Well, let me find another ring or lid. I'll be right back. All right, I found my lid. It was in the sink still, so I rinsed it off and put it on the jar. Now I'm going to go ahead and put all my bands on, or rings, and just want to do them finger tight. Oops, okay. Okay, these are now ready to go in my pressure canner that I already have the bottom full of beans, because I figured I'd make sure I got a good batch out of this cook here. So, put all my jars in here on the top. Well, all my jars are in now, and I've checked my gasket, and I've checked the parts that go up and down that I can't think of the name of right now. I've looked through my vent pipe, and I can see through it just fine. So it's time to go ahead and put this lid on. I just got to get it lined up. There it is. And then we'll put it on tight, and we're going to turn the heat on high, and after we get all the air out of the pot, it'll start venting, a good vent stream. As soon as that happens, we'll let it go for 10 minutes because we want to make sure we get all the air out of the pot and fill it with steam. And so I'll come back when we're to that point. All right, we have been venting good for 10 minutes. The timer just went off. And so I'm going to go ahead and put my weight on, and I'll bring it up to pressure, where my altitude is 13 pounds. And then I've got to sit here and watch it for the next, after it comes up to pressure, for the next 75 minutes or an hour and 15 minutes. And then I will probably bring you back when I pull all the jars out of the pot. See you then. All right, I don't know if you can see the gauge from there or not, but I'm down to 0. I have been for a while. I've been letting it sit for a while. And I'll take that off because there's no pressure left in there. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. And then you always make sure you open this away from your face. So, okay. Oh my goodness. Those look so good. Let me start getting them out. Let me. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. That looks so good, so good, so good. Oh yeah. This is so exciting for me when I pull these out of here. I am so glad that I learned how to pressure can, because this right here is what makes it all so worth it. This is wonderful food security. Not a lot of work, a little bit of time invested, and yes, a little bit of work invested, but I think it's very, very worth it. This will be a great addition to my shelves. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh my goodness. Ooh, 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 boy. Oh, those are so pretty. And besides that, I've got another row of beans below that. So, I will actually bring you guys back in the morning when I come back, because we have to let them sit for 12 hours. And then make sure everything has sealed. And I'll bring you back when I'm ready to, or when I've cleaned the jars and removed the bands. And we'll see if they all sealed. See you then. Good morning. So it is obviously the next day, and I've gotten all my jars cleaned and all the bands removed. And I learned a tip from Rose Red, so credit to Rose Red for this tip. She takes a spoon and listens to the tone of her lids. And so you may notice there's only 9 of them here. That's because one of them didn't seal. And so everything else sealed really good, even all the beans that were on the bottom level. But I did my tone test, thanks to Rose Red, and found that another one doesn't sound right. So it's going to go in the fridge too. So I'm sure most of you could tell very obviously this one doesn't sound like the rest of them. So to be safe, this one's going, it's already been in the fridge because I did the test earlier, but this one's going to be probably frozen, and then we'll use it for something else. But I just wanted to include that tip and thank everybody for watching. If you get any value out of my videos, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Have a blessed day now. Bye-bye.